Now the student accused of making terrorist threats. His mother says he's autistic. As it turns out, he drew a stick figure sketch that shows himself. This is it. That is your terrorist picture. See it? That's a gun. That sort of sideways L there, that's supposed to be a gun. It shows a figure labeled me shooting something into the head of a figure labeled the teacher. Who has not had this thought? Then an equal sign and a drawing of the grave and the words rest in peace. The Atlanta school suspended the boy, and now he faces a charge of making terrorist threats, a felony. The boy is in the 8th grade. His mother says he's autistic and he doesn't understand what he did wrong. She says she thinks the punishment is too harsh.
He's a really nice kid, and this is obviously from his disability. I think that there needs to be some sort of common sense used with these school systems, that a 14-year-old autistic boy who does not understand what he's done or what he's drawn, who has an IQ of 75, should not be charged with a felony.
Well, school officials released this statement. Every disciplinary decision considers the educational background of the student as well as the prior disciplinary offenses. The investigation also includes interviews with the student about his or her intent or frame of mind. The school is basically saying the student has been a problem in the past. Let's take this case to our legal panel. With us now, former prosecutor Randy Zellin and criminal defense attorney Drew Findling. Randy, that's not... Randy, help me understand anything about this, please.
Well, first of all, I think it's very important to strike out the word terroristic. It's really a criminal threat. Anytime someone willfully threatens to do bodily harm to someone and intends to cause fear, and that person becomes afraid, you have a crime.
Intends to cause fear?
That's correct.
Are you serious? This little boy who drew this picture was intending to cause fear, for real?
How do you know that he wasn't? You don't know that. None of us know it. We don't know this kid. We don't know anything. And which side would you want to be wrong on? You want to be wrong on charging him and he's okay, or doing nothing and then he ends up shooting the teacher?
With the piece of paper or with something else?
Well, the piece of paper portrays in his mind, perhaps, what he's intending on doing.
Drew, please bring sanity to this discussion.
Well, you know, for almost 7 years now, I've had the fortune of commenting on your show, and very rarely do I get to comment on Georgia law. So it is terroristic.
You are in Georgia.
That is what the charge is. And the charge is that he threatened to commit a crime of violence. It is a seldom brought charge because you have to, there could be no contingency whatsoever. It has to be clear as day, and that's not what this is. This is stick figures. Terroristic threats is, I am going to shoot you in the face. That's terroristic threats, not stick figures where there's conjecture. What did it mean? What did he really mean? The kid drew a picture. It's an absolute joke. It will never make it. The case will be thrown out. It's just stupid police work, a hypersensitive school system, and it's a zero chance this case is going to exist in about a week or two. Now, the problem he has is that it's in juvenile court, which wherever you go in the nation is governed by what's in the best interest of the child. So things are a little bit loosey-goosey in the juvenile court system. However, fortunately, we have judges, and judges presumably know the law, which they do in Fulton County. A judge is going to look at this, if not a prosecutor, and say, this is a farce, before we even get to the point that he is autistic. That is the icing on the proverbial cake. This case is going nowhere. It's a disgrace.
The school issued a statement saying it doesn't believe the child is autistic. That said, Randy, anything further?
Well, look, I tend to, at some level, agree with Drew. Drew, being a terrific defense lawyer, would come in and prove to the prosecutor that this kid had no intention to do any harm, didn't understand that what he was doing was wrong, no crime was committed, and the system will work. Maybe the kid needs some supervision, because I'll tell you, Mom didn't help the kid by saying he has trouble dealing with anger. Well, sometimes we express anger in violence. That's what the crime, that's what the statute is designed to make sure never happens. So I agree with Drew. In the end, the right thing will happen.
We should be a system that goes counseling first with children. The first thing you do is you get somebody to meet with him and talk about why he did this. You don't arrest the kid. It's just going to make matters worse. It's stupid, it's ridiculous, and it's certainly a waste of police energy and time at a point when there's cutbacks in our city and all over the country.
I'm feeling sort of Catherine Herridge in that she holds up a lot of paperwork here. But Drew, this is you, all right? I just scratched you out. Now that means I'm going to rub out Drew. I know a guy over across the river who's going to. Now, am I going to prison? Does anybody have 1 little milligram of brain left in this school? You're from Atlanta,
Obviously
Drew.
not.
What is wrong with people?
You know, here's the problem, is that people are just trying
Crazy.
to make everything a crime these days. Everything has got to be, let's use the criminal justice system. You know what? We have real criminals out there. We don't need to create criminals, and we don't need to take 14-year-old autistic kids, and I don't want to debate whether he is or he isn't, because even if he's not, it's not terroristic threats. But if it's a borderline issue about him being autistic and you're going to involve the police, it's ridiculous.
What kind of prosecutor's office, Randy, entertains this notion?
One word, Columbine.
One word. The prosecutor's office hasn't looked at it yet. The moment they look at it, out goes this case.
One sentence, grow a brain. Both of you, thank you very much. It's good to see you. You must be so proud to represent Metro Fulton County there, Drew.
Well, I'm in Washington, D.C. today.
Just for the day. You're a Fulton County boy, and everybody knows it.